We're gonna paint this gray wall for our member of enjoyingart.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our fun and relaxing Friday painting together. If this is your first time to our channel, it's all about making art easy with relaxation. Push like, share, subscribe, and turn on notification. First, let me tell you the brushes that I'm using. I only use two brushes. One is a flat brush. It's gold here. Okay. Take care of the brush. Just use the two fingers. Right. Just softly massage it every time before you start using it. Okay. Now the hair very soft. Also remove all the bubble, all the air inside the brush here. Now the brush is ready to use. That's very sharp over here, very organized. And this is the calligraphy brush. The calligraphy brush can use for medium and small shapes. And the tip is very sharp, so it's very easy to control. Okay, now put it down over here. How wet is it? And make it really wet. It says watch me, and I'm not gonna let it to be really watery when I'm painting. Okay. When you in the painting process, I would like you to think like a one thing at a time. Even though you have the entire plan for the entire painting. But when you think about, okay, where I'm going to put the sun, you just put the finger over there. This is the sun. Okay, this is the location. And then think again, really? I want to put it over there? And then I want to move it a little bit higher. You have to focus on one thing. It's not focus on too much things. Okay, oh, when I'm going to put the path over here and those things. Those are even nothing is going to happen at the front over here until later step. So you focus on one thing at a time. So this is good. And I'm going to have a paper towel. I'm going to put it on the paper and just lift some wet up like that. It should be, especially the area for the sun over here, but still a little moisture. Okay. Now here we go. We're going to put the sun over here. So in that case, I'm going to take the yellow color. Just use the corner. Take the yellow color. Okay. Now I'm going to put it right here, next to it, and like that. Here you go. Pay attention the color, and in here, that's good. That's the shape. Now immediately I'm going to start add some red color because it looked like orange color next to it. And so I'm going to start over here on this side like this. From the yellow, turn it into red. Here you go. That direction. And also on this side, take the red color as well. Mix it a little bit with the water. Now I'm going to come in over here. Now I'm going to come in on this side. You see the yellow color and the red color is going to blend in together. And I'm going to have a little bit red and yellow. Make it a little bit more warm orange color. I'm going to have a little bit thicker color coming on this side again. Okay, coming in like this, coming through. Now on this side, now I'm going to having the color start changing. Okay, now the color over here, the top over here, I have a little bit just the red gray color, a little bit purplish color, and I'm going to have a little bit red, but a little bit lighter. So I'm going to have it here, but that's just a little bit too much color. Now I'm going to just use the water, right? Soften it a little bit and have that color and the water soften it, coming like this. Now here you go. Now I have the color coming over here, have it soften and have the brush stroke from the inside to the outside. Here you go. Have that a little bit softer. Now I just use my 2 fingers, let go the water. And now coming back here. Now from here, lift it up. So make it feel a little bit lighter. So that's fine. And over here, just use the edge, lift it up a little bit like that. This is good. So now I'm gonna come get the color a little bit outside over here. I can see that actually a little bit red shade blue color. Actually, I'm gonna take this color, but very light. I'm gonna take this color, look like that. And here is that very light with this color over here. Now start moving the color around, and I'm gonna have on this side, they have a little bit red shade blue color with some red color. That's good. I'm gonna have this color connected. So be careful, this is very wet, this is getting drier. So I'm gonna having the color coming like this and coming up over here, moving it out. Now I'm gonna make some color a little bit gray, looking for the bottom over here, a little bit red over here. Now looking at this gray color, okay. And coming down over here, that's good. Now I'm gonna having the whole thing coming down in this color, like that. That's fine. Okay, over the front mountain, like that. Now I'm gonna quickly add some Windsor blue green shade. I'm gonna just put the green shade over here, plus a little bit red. Okay, the color is fine. And coming over here, right, now touching the wet area. Okay, like that. And I'm going to have it like that. Some color coming in, a little bit like that. And I'm going to just let go the wet, okay, with my fingers. Now I'm going to brush this color, moving it out. Slowly, moving it out a little bit. Just use half of my brush because I do want to leave it some color merge together, transition. And I don't know how it's gonna look like after it dry, but I'm gonna try my best. Okay, now I'm gonna stop. Okay, now the paper already dry, and I'm gonna come in to adjust the color. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this a little bit softer. Just use the large brush, just circulate motion for this area. I'm gonna make this a little bit softer, also a little bit lighter. Okay, now it's already better. So I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna come in over here, just use the corner of this flat brush and soften that a little bit. I'm gonna have this a little bit glowing feeling. Okay, that's good. Just the corner of the brush, like that. It's a little bit lighter already. Okay, that's good. Right? Cool. Now I'm gonna come into this area. I'm gonna have just use the corner of the brush. I'm gonna try to have a little bit illusion, texture, a little bit texture over here, showing just like a little translucent cloud, and actually on top of this. So whatever texture it come up with, it conveyed some interesting illusion. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna make this a little bit softer too. I'm gonna just use the water and just moving a little bit and just a little bit softer. That's all we need, and this is good. It doesn't have to be look like the reference suggesting. It's just a little bit softer over here. That's nice, like that. Cool. A little bit softer over here too. Okay, keep it minimum. And over here, I'm gonna move a little bit, have some couple light shape over here, and moving like that. See that? That is already good. And I'm moving a little bit over here too. Just use sideways. Sometimes you need to use just only the sideways. And the top over here, I'm gonna make a little bit smoother over here, like that. That's good. Oh, it's already good. And the bottom over here, I'm going to change the texture, the motion. under here is all the way coming down. I'm going to make this a little bit softer, like that. This is good. And wet the whole paper. Now on the edge over here, I'm going to use the paper towel. I'm going to lift up the excess wet because I'm going to start adding a few shapes and just a little bit kind of this kind of color. That's a little bit different color. And I'm going to have it like that and coming in a little bit, have some shadow. Maybe a little bit over here, and that's it. And that's adding some interesting look to this. And now I'm going to clean the brush, just lift it up, make a soft transition. Okay, that is good. And over here, also going to lift the color, lead the color in here, like that. And I think that is already enough texture for that. And that's good. And then next step, we're going to come into start painting the mountain in the background. Now I'm going to start from the distance mountain. And I'm going to use the calligraphy brush. Just use a little bit of this blue color with a little red, and it would look like a gray color. And the distance mountains very similar to the color in the sky, in the area, in the lower part. And you don't have to do exactly what it looked like because it may be too many mountains. So I'm going to put a little bit over here, like that, and have a little bit coming over here, like this. And just put the color over there. And on this side, I'm going to have a little bit more the blue color. So it's a little bit farther away. And over here, I'm going to have a little bit over here. And look at this area, it's still wet. And you just never know. I'm going to have a little color over here. And I'm going to put a little color over here. And that's fine, like that. And this would look like a very distance because it's very soft. That is fine. Now, I'm going to just lift off the most wet. I clean the brush. And now I'm going to, at the bottom, I just use the clean brush, soften that a little bit, like that. And over here, also do the same thing, soften the bottom, make it a little bit lighter coming down. And this whole shape, it could be a little bit lighter, like that. Okay, lift it up. And now clean the brush again. Now, depends on how wet is the color. And looks like I need to add a little bit water to it, otherwise it's not be able to smooth the color. Okay, now here you go. Just use the side of the brush, soften that. Make it look like coming down a little bit softer, lighter at the bottom. Okay. Okay, that's good. Right. So this is still wet, so I'm not going to do much about that. And I'm going to wait until it dry before I come back to continue the painting. Now the previous layers are already dried, so I'm going to come back to add the next layer. I'm going to get a little blue color, light blue color, very light. I'm going to come back over here to give it a little bit more over here. They're probably a little bit too much, so I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to make this lighter. So when you don't want to make it too much to standing out. Just a little bit color, that's good enough, right? Like that, and hold on it. Now I'm going to start adding other colors, and I'm going to add this mountain and on the right hand side over here. And I don't want to make it as dark as what I see, So I don't want it to too dark or too bright colors. I'm just gonna add a little red color to it, make it a little bit more gray. Okay, I'm gonna take just a little bit color, a little bit, start from here. I'm gonna start over here. Here you go. I'm gonna having it up like that. Here you go. And take a look at the shape of the mountain. Here you go, like over here. And that's probably good enough. Maybe on the tip over here, just a little bit darker, drop a little color in. That should be fine. I'm gonna clean the brush and come back over here. Move the color around like that. Darker and more contrast, it was showing the mountain a little bit closer to us. Okay, so you control how much you want, how much distance you want to place into that mountain. Okay, that's good. And that's good. Now I'm gonna have a little bit color on this side, and I'm gonna put this little mountain here on the edge, right over here, like that. I see a little shape over there, very interesting. Now I'm gonna clean the brush, immediately soften it, and I'm gonna leave up more water, and here you go, like that, and gradually have the little hill coming on this side. That's good. I'm gonna make it look a little bit more flat, like that. That's fine. I don't want to have it a little bit too much details. Less detail is feeling that's a little bit farther away from us. So I don't want to paint the area over here immediately, and instead I'm gonna just soften this a little bit. Okay. Now I'm gonna start working into the things in front of here, a little bit isolated from there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit yellow, now a little bit brighter, away from the gray color. Now I have this a little red, a little blue color, a little bit like that, maybe a little bit more red over here. That's good. Now let go. We don't need that much color. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a look, and this is gonna be the main hill, the main mountain. I'm gonna put it here like that, and I'm gonna see the gray wall in here is going this way like that, and all the way here. I'm gonna leave around the shape of the light color. Here you go, like that, coming over, and on this side, here you go. Now kind of doing a little drawing with this, and this side is going to be ready very soon, right? So, and this can connect into the distance. So I'm gonna have a little bit red color. Here you go, a little blue, a little red color, and coming here, but it needs to be a little bit more red. It's a little bit closer to us. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna coming over here to put the shape of this. Here you go, like that. All right. Now I'm gonna change to my calligraphy brush because I need to go a little bit faster with the color. I already know the shape, the location of this. Now I'm gonna have the yellow color with the red, and like mix a little brown color, a little bit of that. That's just good. That's good color. Now here you go. I'm gonna make this color right in this location while it's still wet, so I don't want to leave the outline. And put this color in. Here you go, like that. But this color also can softly connect to the other side. And this color can be also a little bit darker, a little bit more red here, and it can be a little bit darker dropping in. And you can see that how close to us this mountain. You're suggesting that it's very, very close, the closest in the whole painting. And here, like that. And then come to this side. I want the bottom over here is a little bit softly connect to the other side. So I'm gonna take this color, a little blue color with this too. I'm gonna come in here, and here you go. I'm gonna come in over here and moving that, but it's not as dark as the mountain at the front over here, right? So I'm gonna have that coming over here like that, and coming a little bit, coming down a little bit softly, disappear. I'm gonna have that color here, but compare this mountain and the mountain and back. This one is closer to us, and when it get closer, have a little bit warmer color. I'm gonna take a little red here, a little yellow, a little bit like orange. Now seeing that color is showing that this area is closer to us. And I'm gonna have that and among the footer over here, like this. Oh, this is good. We're getting things together now. Now I'm gonna clean the brush. Just have a half load of the water in the brush. Now I want to have this connected a little bit softly connected over here, but on the edge over here, I'm gonna have this disappear. I'm still going to showing that a little gap over there. That's fine. Okay, that's good. Like that. That's good. Like that over here, a little bit below out. You don't want to touch it right now, and you can come back to a little bit fix that after. Okay. Now come to this side. I'm gonna have the color coming toward the background, so it means I have a little bit more blue color. So knowing that the sky have a little bit more blue color at the bottom over there, so now I have a little bit blue color. More blue color was showing that actually going into the distance. Now I'm gonna have a little bit higher over here, like that. Good, like that. Use the edge of the brush and try to lift the path. Okay, like that. That's good. Lift the path over here. Okay, on this side, also lift the pad. You see how thick is that? Here you go. Coming over here. That's good. Like that. Now I'm gonna have a little bit red color when it get closer to us. And in the distance, a little bit lighter. Okay. Now I'm gonna use the calligraphy brush. Come back over here to soften this area and soften that. I'm going to soften that, make it even lighter. Here you go. Make it a little lighter over here. That's good. And on the other side, I'm going to use a little bit blue color, showing that a little bit farther away over here. Going into the distance. Okay. And I think it's pretty good. And the front over here, what I like to do, I'm going to create some. After it dry, I'm going to come into to create a little bit details. Okay, at this point, I'm going to leave it. Now, first thing, I'm going to fix this. There's a little, looks like a tree, a mushroom on the top of the hill. I'm just going to use this flat brush and just soften it. It's very easy, just let it go. I think that would be better. I want to have a little bit subtle, a little bit simple in the background here. I don't want it to look like something stand out a little bit too much. And that's already good enough. Now I'm going to have this area also a little bit softer. So just use the water. It just soften it a little bit. But you don't need to have it totally smooth out. Okay, it's just a little bit softer. It's make it feel like a little bit more graduate, and that should be good enough. Okay. Now I'm gonna come into create some texture. Also, first let's create the illusion of the wall. So what I like to do is have a little bit blue color. Okay, I'm gonna put it right on this side. You see that? Now I can have the feeling of the wall. Okay, like this. And then have a little bit red color. Here you go. a little bit red color. So I have a little bit warmer. Now turning over here, that's good. Now on the other side, I'm also going to mix a little bit warm gray color, a little bit darker. I have a little bit blue color, a little bit more red. Now it should be dark enough right here. That's good. And I'm going to put it right here. There you go. That's gonna make that a little bit. And the top over here suggesting actually the wall going around at the top over there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a little bit blue color over here, add a little isolation of shape. That's good. And for this mountain, I can make it look closer to us. That's okay. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to add some color on this side. And have some color at the front over here. Now I'm going to have a little bit warmer, a little bit, even have a little yellow color, make it a little bit brighter, brown color. Okay, here you go. Now I'm going to have some dry brushes like that. I'm going to have it feeling like it's a lot more texture. I can see some tree over here and have some dry texture. Now I'm going to make it even drier by having, here you go, let go some of the wet and right here and let go the extra wet color. Okay, now here we go. I'm going to have that to create some more suggestions. They're showing that this is actually closer to us, a lot more closer to us by even seeing the tree over here. So now coming back here on the edge, I'm gonna have some suggestions showing even some smaller tree at the edge. Right, that's good. I'm gonna give some texture like that. That's just the suggestions showing that, oh, this is really close. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of this light brown color. I'm gonna have a little bit over here to give some little bit suggestions that actually this a part of the mountain is not really far away. I'm gonna put a little light color over here like that. Maybe on this side also can a little bit texture like that. I have a little bit, but I'm gonna use the large brush to make it softer right after. So I'm gonna add a little suggestion over here too. That's good enough. But you don't want to make it look too flat, right? Now I'm gonna come back here. Now I'm gonna use the flat brush and come back over here, just going to tap on it. So the texture over here is not really dark. So that's why it looks like this mountain a little bit away from the mountain at the front, just a few. So texture create illusion of distance. Okay, now I'm gonna come back on this side and mix a little brown color, some simple brown color. Now I'm gonna come back here, just use the corner of this brush, and here you go. I'm gonna have some suggestions like that. Here you go, like this. I'm gonna have, that's good. I'm gonna have a little blue color on this top. Here you go, a little bit like that, and also a little bit blue color on here. Just keep a little shape, isolated form, but I'm gonna start let this fade away into the background. Now I can come back to looking at the gray wall, inside the gray wall, and I'm gonna put a little bit light brown color, a little bit light brown orange color over there. And I'm gonna, here you go, I'm gonna put that right in here. Here you go, like that. Here you go. I can have some light color over here like that. Here you go, like that. Oh, that's good. Now, have some interesting detail. I can add a little bit even more, and right over here, have a little bit more contrast. That's good. Okay, now on the distance, I'm gonna have it less bright, right? Make sure that in the distance, the color not as bright as the areas closer to us, like that. Here you go. That's good. Right. That is enough suggestions for that. Okay. And I'm gonna come back to take a look at the front over here. I need some darker color. So I'm gonna add a little bit more details. I'm gonna mix these two color together, make some color really dark. Now here you go. I'm gonna have a little bit darker color right next to here. A few texture like that. That's good enough. At the front over here, I can make it a little bit darker too. And somewhere also have a little bit darker like that, just a little dry brush. But you don't want to do too much. In that case, it would too distracting. So a little bit, just a little bit dry brush. That's good enough. Okay, that's cool. And when it's just dry, I can come back to do a lot more. I'm gonna suggest this side of the wall by having a little bit dark color next to it. But that's probably good enough. That's good. This is still wet, so I'm gonna come back a little bit later. But I can looking at the other side, the edge over there, I can see that a little bit, actually a little bit shape, so suggesting that actually the wall going around on that hill, like that. That should be very good. I'm gonna add a little bit shape, continue on that. Just add a little light shape over there. That's probably good enough. I'm gonna soften that a little bit. Maybe that's too dark. Just use the calligraphy brush. The hair also can lift up some color. Now that's much better, like that. Now we're gonna finish the painting by adding the details to the focal point. So I'm gonna add just a little bit darker, the warm brown color, like that. A little warm details. I'm gonna put a little bit suggestions on the shadow, for the shadow of the wall and the inside, like that. A little bit, like that. A little bit details, a little bit warm color, like that. Here you go. A little bit warm, the shadow over here. That's good, like that. Here you go. Just add a little texture. It was suggesting. And take a look at the distance over here. And I'm going to add a little darker color because that is going to create attention because the contrast to the background. I'm going to put this over there. Take a look at the shape and just a little bit like that. And coming on this side, take a look at the shape coming up over here. Yes, very simple. A little big shape over here, like that. Now I'm gonna coming down and like this, a little big shape next to it. There you go. Now first going to put this, the flat color, just represent that. I'm gonna have a little bit darker color. I'm gonna add the little red and the blue color together. I'm gonna say this much darker right there. And here you go, like that. That's good. On the edge, on the outside over here, also give a little bit darker details, a little suggestions over here, like that. And we can, after it is dry, we can come back to give it a little bit more definitions to the detail here. Okay, like that. Now I'm gonna give a little bit of more suggestions how this gonna moving is seeing a little bit more of the gray wall going to the other side. Like that. It's good. Going down here. And a lot of details also over here. But you don't want to make it too dark, too much contrast, because that is in the distance. I'm gonna give a little bit suggestions of the wall, the side of the wall. That's good. Like that. Now I'm gonna use the side brush, add that little color to it. A little suggestions over here, a little suggestions over there, and let's get into the distance. Okay, so that's is good. Now I'm gonna take a look at this. I can see that a couple people actually walking in the gray wall. So I'm gonna add a couple figures. And that could be you. I'm going to add one more. Okay. That's good. Like that. And here like that. And I'm going to have a little warmer brown color. And the side over here, I'm going to have a little bit more brighter. There you go. Now I'm going to have a little bit warmer color at the front. A little bit. Right here. That's good. That's good. Like that. Give it a little bit warmer color at the front here. I'm going to just use the dry brush and just express the color. That's good. Like that. So make it feel like a more integrated into this mountain. Now's the time we come in to add the little details to this tower at the top. I'm gonna add a little bit darker color. Okay, that dark color. Here you go. Now coming over here, a little bit shape. Here you go. A little bit window. And here you go. A little bit like that. You can control how much you want to give it, how much you want to holding back. That's totally up to you. I'm gonna have a little bit lighter color. On the top over here, I have a little line coming from here. That's good. Like that. There you go. I'm gonna have a little bit details. Give it a little bit more. And on the side here, you can see all the little detail up over here. So we can add a little bit as seeing the shadow of this. That's good. Yeah. And take a look. I think I'm going to add some brighter color in here. That's good. I think alternate the color a little bit. I'm gonna have a little warmer color on this side. When you're seeing something come along together, you know, from nothing, it's exciting. And I think the painting is finished.